Good morning. Welcome to this special edition of Saturday Morning Coffee. I actually have the privilege today to be sitting with the one and only Brian O Sullivan, uh, who is a cancer survivor, uh,
Thriver.
thriver,
It's cancer thriver, not a
cancer
survivor.
thriver, cancer thriver. Thank you for correcting me
Yes,
on that.
sir.
And today is Brian's journey. We're going to talk about Brian's journey. He's actually going to be a guest speaker at Tim Soane's Perspective of Cancer, live in Honesdale, Pennsylvania on September 10th. Today is a rare Saturday morning because actually, Brian, where are you at today? Right now?
Right now, I'm at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center in Basking Ridge, New Jersey, and I'm actually receiving my last treatment, my last IV treatment, my chemo treatment here. So it's like, we're getting up on the machine here, and they're going to be coming to get my meds here soon, and it's not like I ever wanted to. I owe a lot to Memorial Sloan Kettering here. It's Basking Ridge. Sorry, I don't know if we lost you. Did you get me? Basking Ridge, New Jersey, and I never wanted to be here. I never wanted to come here, but it's my house of healing now. Yeah, it definitely is. So I'm here getting my treatment, and I'm grateful to be able to sit here and talk with Lance and Saturday Morning Coffee to talk about my favorite subject, me. No.
Yeah, exactly. And who better to talk about you than you? So let's just tell us how it's like. When did you find out? What went through your mind? Like, I know about the orange chucks. I know you're rocking your orange chucks right now.
Okay, you know what? You want to see the chucks? All right, we'll do that, man. It's okay.
I know you're infamous for your orange chucks. And
here, bro. Let me just. All right, there's the orange chucks.
Yeah, the orange chucks with the fanny pack and
Buddy the Elf on the pajamas.
Yeah.
Every time I come here, I wear Buddy Elf. We got the Scooby snacks. Okay. Purple Scooby snacks and the purple hat, topped off with a pink face mask, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely with the pink face mask. I'm not having the face mask today, but I understand that you are, and you actually wanted to do the podcast today on your last personal IV treatment.
I did,
and I couldn't say no, and I'm still kind of in shock, and I'm looking forward to the event and Perspective on Cancer in person with Tim Soane and you and so many others. The talk is going to be an absolutely amazing event. I'm just glad that I'm going to be that I'm a part of it, and there's going to be a lot of great things coming from it. But there's a lot of different platforms. But let's just tell everybody, like, let's go back and like your story. What happened? Like, when did you find out? And what do you have?
So I started in the 70s or the 80s or what?
Yeah, you can start in the, well, let's see.
Let's go back. Let's go to 2020, okay? We'll go to 2020. That won't, I know you only have 4 hours to talk to me today, so we'll go to 2020. All right, so 2020, we all know what was going on in 2020, right? So all of a sudden, I just got through it. And at the end of 2020, I said, I got through 2020. I was feeling good. I thought to myself, I hadn't gotten sick at all. That's what I thought. I hadn't gotten sick. But now January 2021 rolled around, and I said to myself, here I am at 48 years old, January 2020. I said, let me do the right thing. Let me get a physical done. Let me get my blood work done. I was excited that I had gotten through 2020 and I hadn't gotten sick. I was excited. I thought, 2021 is going to be an amazing year. I got a lot of stuff going on, and it's all of a sudden I said, let me start out. I want to get my, I wanted to see what my A1C is because we had a history of diabetes in my family, and So I wanted to see what that was, and I wanted to start it out right. So I did a Zoom with my primary. I did a Zoom call and I did my blood work. She had me do I'm gonna get my blood work done. Got my blood work done, and I was supposed to have a follow up with her on Monday. This is in January 2021. So, but on Saturday, my blood work came to my phone. It came on the app, and I was like, it came up. It was a Saturday morning, and I looked, and my A1C was good, but all of a sudden, my white blood count was high, and I just was like, I was looking at my white blood count. I had never had a problem like this before. I'm thinking, what is this? And it said it was supposed to be in between 4 and 10, and mine was at 16.9. And I was like, oh God, this is not good. This is almost double. Now I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have in my life. She's my cousin / godmother / cancer survivor / medical doctor. Right? And I reached out to her instantly on a Saturday morning. I said, hey, I could use some, I have some abnormal test results, and I'd really love to, I'd love to talk about that. She texted me, she said, Brian, can you call me back in 10 minutes? I'll call you in 10 minutes. So in that 10 minutes, I consulted I went for my second opinion to Dr. Google, and Dr. Google gave me all kinds of crazy stuff, man. I was just like, man, this is where I thought it was going to be. I just thought I was dying, bro. I had all these diagnoses already, self-diagnosis. But so, and then that 10 minutes, she called back and we were talking. I was going over my test scores, and she said, Brian, your white blood cell count, your white blood cells may be rising up because hopefully you have a cold. She said, hopefully you just have a cold and it's trying to fight off that infection. And I ran with it, I was like, oh, okay, that sounds great. That was great. If I got a cold. And then she said to me, well, we'll talk to your primary, because I was going to have an appointment with my primary. And I was Zoom follow up my primary a couple of days later on Monday. And so I talked to her, and she said, 30 days from now, we're going to retest we're going to give you a retest and we'll find out. I said, so I was convinced that, I had a cold, and I was happy that I had a cold and I was going to get better in 30 days. I never thought anything about cancer or anything like that. No, not at all. So I just was saying to myself, 30 days later, I went around. I had told my family, I wasn't talking on social media about, anything like this, but I told my family, I said, I have some abnormal scores, and I got a cold probably. That's what I thought. I said, talk to cousin, and so now here comes February 2021, a month later, and I turned 49 at that point. So I got the test results, and I'm still going through thinking that it's going to be great. Nothing else ever thought so all of a sudden it was 16.9, like I said, in January. So when I got the test results at the end of February, it came out and it was around 20. So I knew something definitely going on. So here I am following up. I followed up my cousin, and I followed the primary, and she told me she wanted me to see a hematologist. Right. And to me, here I am. I'm very naive, very cancer naive at that point, not at this point now, but I've gotten anyway, I don't want to stray off topic, but
no, you're good. You're good.
I mean, I've gotten this education now that I never wanted, but now last February, they said to see a hematologist, and I said, I said, okay, sounds good. I had no idea what a hematologist was, to be honest with you. There I was at 49, no idea. So she gave me the referral, so I went to pick up the referral, and I looked up the doctor, and it said, and I looked up the doctor. Of course, I went to Dr. Google again to find out. So all I saw was hematologist / oncologist, and I just like, oh shit, here it comes. I knew what an oncologist was. I had no idea what a hematologist was. So that's where we're at that point. Now that's where I get that, and I'm just telling my family at this point. I was just telling my family what was going on. So then I made this appointment. Let me know if you want to jump in. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're doing great. You know the story better than I do. So
Yeah.
I'll let you. I'll ask questions.
Okay. All right, brother. Yeah. So anyway, I went to made this appointment, and I went by myself. I probably should not have gone by myself. You know, I had family would have went with me, but I went by myself. And I said, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I got this. You should have seen me. I'm walking through this parking lot and the store down there, and it's down in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. And I'm going through this parking lot, and I see the building. It says Cancer Center, and I'm just like, oh shit, freezing up, man. He said it was a scary day, you know. It was very scary at that point. And,
Yeah, I can only imagine that. That. And I just want to kind of go back to getting blood work done. And I just recently did my blood work as well too. And it's and I'm going to put this out there for everybody. This is a general health. Uh, don't take your health for granted. Make sure you get your annual physicals, get your annual blood work. For me, I was I got my blood work, and I was sweating until my numbers came back, and perfectly. Unfortunately, I my numbers came back great. You know, and God had blessed me. But unfortunately, your numbers came back not great. And so here we are. So, but I just want to put it out there to everybody in general.
oh yeah,
Take your health very seriously. You
I
know, don't take life for granted. Don't put something off.
I sometimes think that, like, what caused me to get my blood work? What happens if I think sometimes I think about all this crazy stuff. I think about what happens if I never went to get my blood work checked. What happens if I never had any symptoms. I didn't have any symptoms. I just wanted to start the new year off right. That's what I wanted to do. I was excited.
Yeah, everybody wanted to start the new year off right. We all been cooped up for a year. Nobody had seen a doctor. Nobody had physicals or anything else of that. So it makes perfect sense.
It was my thing. It was my thing. I said, man, I didn't get COVID. I'm doing all right. But we got to remember sometimes just because we don't get COVID, we get other things do happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the day that you walk in, you see the cancer building.
Oh yeah. I was just like freezing and in my boots, and I was like, And we started talking. I started talking with the first oncologist, but we'll get to that. That was oncologist number one, and he felt me. He didn't feel any lymph nodes. He didn't feel my spleen enlarged, and that sounds like a good sign. He wanted me to do some more tests, some more blood work, which I did. And I started taking more and more. I've been going to see, I've been seeing a lot of needles this last year and a half. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But it's okay, man. I'm where I'm supposed to be. But anyway, I'll get back to, so again, through the test, and I had to come back in a month. And now we're talking around April 2021. All right. So he said to me, Brian, you definitely have, your numbers are getting a little bit higher, but they're not really in a danger zone. My white blood cell numbers are not, there is some type of, you have a blood cancer. That's what he told me. Garrett, you have to do one more test. It's called a FISH test. And they said, there's two different types of blood cancer that you have either or. One is called chronic lymphocytic leukemia, which is CLL. And the other is mantle cell lymphoma. They said mantle cell lymphoma is more rare, and it's easier to manage the chronic CLL. Chronic lymphocytic leukemia. It's easier to manage that. So he said, I would believe you have this. But you're gonna have to take this FISH test. And I was telling my family, okay, well, the CLL might not have to be treated for years either, because my numbers were not really as bad, So I said, all right. And this is what I told my family. I reported back to my family. I wasn't putting stuff on Facebook. I wasn't putting stuff on social media, not back then. No, but now here, get this again with the technology. Friday night, 8:00 in May of 2021. I get this text notice on my phone from LabCorp. It says your results are in. I'm thinking, okay, here it's going to say I have the CLL, and we're just going to go in and see what has to be done. Because he told me about what they call watch and wait. You ever hear of watch and wait?
No, go ahead.
You're waiting. I'm sorry, wait and watch.
Wait and watch, yes. Yep.
Waiting and watching.
Watching a boiling pot of water. Yeah.
Yes, waiting and watching to see if your numbers get too high. It freaked me out a little bit anyway, because it's like, do I really? You have to jump off subject, but wait. Waiting and watching is like as knowing that something's growing inside of me and getting worse. It's kind of a little bit weird to me anyway. But I was going with definitely with the oncologist, and that's what he was saying to me. And I said, okay, I'll be watching and waiting and watching. But all of a sudden, 8:00, go back May of 2021, Friday night, get on the phone. I look down and it says your symptoms match those. I can't exactly word it, but it basically was telling me I have mantle cell lymphoma. So the one that was harder to, maybe a little bit more difficult to treat, or I can't remember exactly the words they said because I'm in a different place now. But that night, I went a little nuts. I went a little crazy. I looked up this mantle cell lymphoma, and this is what I saw, Lance. I saw it affects men in their 60s, and your survival rate is 5 to 7 years. That's what I saw, and that's what I was thinking. And I was like, man, I'm only 49 years old. That's what I'm 49. I shouldn't have looked at this for 10 more years. I shouldn't have got my blood work for 10 more years. But you know what? I've actually come across rare disease. I never heard of it. I wish I never had, but I've connected with those around the world with the same illness. And I've connected with women in their 30s that got diagnosed with this. So a lot of these numbers are outdated. And I know that. I know a lot of these numbers are outdated. And for me, I sat and I used to, and I'm not gonna be afraid to say it, I was curled up in the fetal position at 3 a.m. thinking my mother was gonna have to bury me. That's what I was thinking. It was very.
I can only imagine. That's yeah.
I was in a dark spot.
I can't even put myself in that position, but but I'm thankful that you're still here today.
Oh man, me too, brother.
And
definitely.
And you're thriving.
And I'm not there. I'm here. I mean, it's a whole nother. It's over a year later, and it's like, I just know that this. I'm grateful. I went on Facebook and I looked up this mantle cell, and I found a support group, and I realized there's a lot of people going through this. There's people surviving this. I remember connecting with this one man who was 77, and he said he was in remission for 17 years for one set of treatments. And I was like, wow, that's because I was told, this is what they told me. They said, don't Google this. I'm like, oh, it's too late. Yeah. But a lot of that information was outdated. I know that a lot of the information was definitely outdated. And I know what I can tell you now is fast forward, and I'll go back to where I was, but I know this. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I know today. That's what I always say. Brian wins, cancer loses today. Definitely.
Exactly.
We take it a day at a time. But so, doctor said to me, I wanted to get a second opinion. I told my family, I said, this is where I'm at. I wanted to get a second opinion. So I went up to another MCL specialist. Anyway, I put it out on Facebook because that's really what I was. I wasn't really on Instagram. I had an Instagram, but it was all family. But so I put it on Facebook. This is where I'm at. This is diagnosed with this mantle cell lymphoma. And I'm going to go at it as positive as I can. And I've had a lot of support over the years from my Facebook family, and I'm grateful for that, But now I said, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm doing. And I just started taking it a step at a time. I said, I'm going for a second opinion. I went for a second opinion. Okay. And I went for a second opinion up in North Jersey. talked with the doctor. This was the first time I went up there. It was June of 2021. So I talked to the doctor, and they did a series of tests, including the bone marrow biopsy, which was, that was a new one for me. But some things are gonna hurt, but you gotta hurt to get better.
Mm-hmm.
They were telling me, and doctor here, another great oncologist, they said, I want to treat you this way. Oh, actually, no. Then June, we had the test done. We had certain tests, and they said, these are and more tests, more and more blood tests, more and more. And they said, August, you're going to come back in August, and we're gonna evaluate. He said, he said, there's a percentage of people with mantle cell lymphoma who are very slow growth, very indolent. He says, you are not in that group. There's another percentage, a small percentage of people who are very, very aggressive. He says, you are not in that group. You are in the middle. There's 15% very indolent, 50% very good, 15 to 70% in the middle. That's where you're at, in the middle. And I said, okay. He says, I want to start with a little bit of treatment in September. So he prescribed this treatment for me. And as a targeted treatment, he prescribed it for me. He said, this is how we're gonna attack this. And I said, great. This was when I came back in September. Excuse me, I came back in August for I had to go do a few more tests. I came back in August. This is where we had this conversation. Now, in between, I thought I was dying here. I really did. I thought I was dying. So I planned this trip. I semi-planned this trip where I was going to drive across the country. I wanted to see all these places, like all these places I read about. I wanted to go see, like
your bucket list. Yeah, we're talking about your bucket list.
Yeah. I wanted to go see South Dakota. I wanted to go see the Badlands. I wanted to go see Colorado. I've been to Colorado, but I wanted to go see the Utah and places that I never thought, I did, but I went and I was in there, and it was great, man. It was beautiful. But here was the thing. As soon as I came back, I was going to start treatment. I was supposed to start treatment in October. Oh, no, because he wanted me to start treatment. And I told him, I said, I'm going on this trip. And he says, oh, you'll be all right to travel. I said, I don't know. I just want to go see the country, and I want to go. And then he said, well, when you come back, then we're going to start the treatment. And I was going to start treatment with the other oncologist closer to where I lived. And they were going to work together. So here was the plan. Okay, great. So here I am. I'm driving out west, and I'm stopping in these amazing spots. And to me, I was like Utah. You ever go out that way?
Yeah, I've been to Utah. Yeah, I've been to Utah, California, Washington. It's all beautiful. It's all beautiful.
I haven't gotten to Washington yet. That's my next.
I've been to Washington. I've been to Washington.
My next trip, I'm planning next year to go from San Diego all the way up into Washington State. Just drive through, That's all.
So I want to interrupt you. So when you took this trip, even though you know that the treatments you were going to get, in your mind, you're thinking, this is it. This is my last hurrah road trip. In your mind.
I couldn't guarantee, but I was still not in my right mind. I was in a very depressed sort of state. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can hear and say, oh yes, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. But in my own head, I'm thinking like, I don't know. It's like, do I, it's like, I want to do this just in case. I did. I kind of was like, I was in that depressed state of mind where I wanted to see the country, because I didn't know if I ever had another opportunity to,
Yeah.
It was and I wanted to go by myself. I remember my mother, she said to me, oh, but you're not going to go with anybody? I said, I don't know anybody who wants to ride in a car with me for thousands of miles,
I'd ride with you. I'd ride with you.
Not for long. Trust me. If you kept buying me sandwiches, that maybe this way my mouth would be full,
We could probably work something out.
Or some Saturday morning coffee every day.
Yes, and you know what, man? And definitely have Saturday morning coffee, because I got Good Brothers 5th Acres coffee from Good Brothers Cafe in Midtown Harrisburg. So we will have plenty of coffee on our next road trip.
Oh man, that sounds great.
We'll be up all night. We'll be up all night just driving.
There you go. You know what? It reminds me of oh man, that'd be great. That'd be great. We wire. Is that what you're drinking now?
That's exactly what I'm drinking right now. It's Fifth Acres Golden Blend from the Good Brothers Cafe.
Awesome. You know, sounds good. I may. It's only a couple hours ride for me. Well, you know, it's worth it. It's good to the last drop, right?
Well, so, today is the cold blend. But when I see you at the conference, I'll make sure you have some. I'm gonna bring you some for the conference. I know you're gonna need the energy when you're up on stage.
It'll be cold by the time. It'll be a cold blend by the time you get there, right?
Well, maybe we'll find a hot thing of water somewhere. I don't know. We'll see.
You're on me, Lance. I can't wait to connect to you.
With this heat, we just set it outside. When we can get it warmed up, get it warmed up quickly.
So, that's good stuff, man. You got a good sense of humor. I'm grateful to be on this journey with you, man.
No, absolutely.
So here I am. I'm talking about traveling across and going out in here and there, and I'm out in Nevada, and now it's time to come back because I know October 15th I was supposed to start my treatment, and I got a call from the doctors a couple of days before that. I was in Columbus, Ohio. I remember I was in Columbus, Ohio, and I got this call from the doc, and I was like, "Oh, they want," and he started telling me about the insurance company. The insurance company had denied the treatment. You know, they said this is not the insurance company was saying that what the doctors wanted me to take was not the first line treatment for. It was not the first line treatment for my illness, mantle cell lymphoma. They wanted me to go with basic chemotherapy, but the doctors were telling me that this targeted treatment is going to be better for me. You know, so they said we're going to appeal this. So they appealed that, got denied again. By this time, I'm back in Jersey, and I decided to go to yet a third. I went to a third oncologist over at University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. Another great oncologist, another great hospital there.
Yeah.
And I sat with, this was January. Now, by this point, we're talking about a couple months later, and it's January of 2022. Yeah, early January 2022. I will also admit this, that while I was getting denied, my numbers did keep rising. And now that made the depression even worse. Because remember how I told you how my white blood cell count was at 16.9?
Yes.
Well, in December of that year, I remember because since I had gotten denied, I took a flight out to San Francisco. I wanted to see San Francisco. So I took a flight out there, and I spent some time with, and I have some friends that I've met on the journey that I've connected with that they put me up in their place.
Yeah, and that flight into San Francisco, it looks like you're landing in the water.
Oh yes.
The first time my first flight to San Francisco, I was like, are we touching ground or are we going to touch the water? Oh, yeah. That's pretty darn close.
Yes, but I enjoy myself out there, and I'm grateful to have friends all over where they're like, "Oh, you can come stay with us for a couple of days." So I stayed with one for a couple of days, another one for a couple of days, and it was just like, hey, I was happy. And but while I was out there, I got more blood work, and my white blood cell count had gone from 100 to 150 in a month, and it was like, oh my God, this is like a 50%. You know, there's a 50% markup. All right, we'll talk about a markup like that. Still getting denied, depression really getting heavier. Came back January 2022. I went, like I said, over to University of Pennsylvania, and I met with the doctor over there, and he said, this is what's going on. You're being denied, the insurance company." But he did say this. He said to me, he said, Dr. Anita Kumar, and I'll say her name because Dr. Anita Kumar at Memorial Sloan Kettering in Basking Ridge is currently running a clinical trial that are using medications just very similar to this. I'm going to email her right now. So he got on the computer, he started emailing her, he was telling her about me, this and that. He said, and I think you'll be able to get on this clinical trial here. And I was like, wow, okay. This is like another glimmer of hope. Because I know with the clinical trial, I knew that it would be, I had that opportunity, you know. So I got a call a couple of weeks later from Memorial Sloan Kettering, and they set up this first appointment with me. But here's the thing, I had to go back and get all of those tests again, because now it's a new year. Now it's 2022. Mm-hmm. But it's okay. I know where I'm at now. I'm getting better. And I go through what I got to go. Sometimes we got to get worse to get better.
Absolutely.
So I met with Dr. Kumar. I met with some others here at MSK. I had tests done. I had to go to another MSK branch as well. Got more and more tests done. I was told that this clinical trial, I wasn't guaranteed yet, but February 3rd, I was coming back after all the results were February 3rd, 2022. I was coming back, and they said, if you're accepted on this trial, you're going to start. And pretty much I thought you're going to start that day. And I thought I was going to, and I wasn't completely convinced that I was going to be accepted because of the rejections before, you know?
Yeah, rightfully so. I mean, and it's tough. The insurance companies are a roadblock for a lot of things, not just with cancer, but just a lot of things. I mean, we won't go that route.
Yeah.
Right? That's a whole nother.
Because you know what I found.
That's a whole nother episode.
At first, I thought it was just me, but you know what? There's a lot of people dealing with it every day, so it's not me. I'm not unique. I know that.
Yeah.
I'm strange, but not unique.
No, you're definitely unique. You're not strange at all, brother.
I'm bizarre, but I'm not unique. You know, so
it's the purple hat. It's the purple hat. Yeah, that's the key to everything. So were you accepted into this clinical trial?
So here we go. My depression was building up. My white blood cell count was at 209 that day. 209 that had topped off at. It's supposed to be a maximum of 10, you know. And Dr. Kumar, I was in the office with Dr. Kumar, nurse practitioner. My brother was there, and my cousin / medical doctor / cancer survivor was on the phone because she works in Manhattan. And Dr. Kumar said to me, Brian, you're accepted on this clinical trial. We're going to start today. And you know what, Lance? I put my head down on the table in her office there, and I cried. And I cried tears of joy. And I always say this, 85% of the depression left my body right then and there. I didn't even know if this was going to work, but I know I had an opportunity.
It's one shot. One shot. And you're giving it.
Yeah. And you know what? All the rejections I had, the 3 oncologists before, brought me, and my higher power, I choose to call God, brought me to where I am today in a healing place. And I've been healing since then. And I'm grateful. I am grateful for this.
I'm truly blessed to be able to have this opportunity and time with you, and on this platform with you. And you and I have become really close. And you know what I mean? And like I said, I started this journey when you know my journey, and I don't talk about it at all. And but we do have a higher power that knows what we want, knows what we need. He answers us on time, not a minute too late, not a minute too soon. But it's that waiting game. And, cancer is something that is very serious, and it does not discriminate.
No.
It does not discriminate. No, to any race, to male, female, or anybody.
Religion, sexual orientation, political affiliation, doesn't matter. Age.
No, it does not. And I've grown to love you, brother. And like I said, you and I talk awful lot. And and we got Tim's on, and then Mark Kagamu, and out in California. and we got some amazing formats out there.
It's like I've connected with so many people on this journey that I never wanted to be on. It's like the last couple of months I reached out, I put it on LinkedIn. I said, here in my profile, where do I work? Memorial Sloan Kettering. What's my occupation? A full-time cancer thriver. That's what I did.
Yeah. Then that's it looks good on the resume. I mean, yeah. that moves you to the top of the pile.
That's the best job I got right there.
And and you're rocking it, and you're famous there too, because I saw the pictures of all with all the nurses and the staff, and you always rock your chucks and jam in your gear, and your attitude is absolutely amazing. And and I would be amiss to not, I'm not going to be the negative Nelly on this. We have those who have thrived, and we have those who have lost lives. And I don't want to miss out onto all those families who have lost lives of loved ones from cancer. Cancer doesn't just affect the person itself; it affects the whole nuclear family. The whole family. Yeah. And my heart goes out to all the families and on all the individuals who have cancer. And I know you're the same way, Brian. You feel the same way, and
I do.
And there's as many success stories. There are the non-success stories.
I know this though. I know they're coming out more and more. There's more and more. And when it comes to my cancer and all cancers, there is more and more knowledge coming out every day, more and more tests. And I think me being in a clinical trial is helping others too.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And the thing with, I want to, I know that you're busy I know you're busy in your chair there, and you got 4 hours of just chill time. But I know that the meds kick in and stuff like that. But I want to talk about, there's a lot of platforms out there for cancer survivors, cancer thrivers, warriors that I'm involved in, that you're involved in, on different levels. And and it's not just, you don't have to have cancer yourself. It's for family members as well too. And that's the key thing out there, that these platforms are for everybody. And and there's so many different forms of cancer out there. But I said, and we'll list all the names of the platforms that are out there,
or all the names of different cancers. God,
I don't know if I can list all the names of cancers out there. We run out of paper.
I was very cancer naive. I was, and I just I used to see on social media, people would say, I got diagnosed with cancer. I feel bad. I'm going to pray for you. Mm-hmm. But until that first oncologist told me, you have a form of cancer, all of a sudden it clicked in here, like the mental and everything else. It just goes with it, because there's more than just the physical. There's mental and emotional sides,
Yeah.
And experience.
And what you're doing now too is that you're actually taking your story, and you've changed. You started your own podcast, and to a degree,
I did. It's a video podcast like this,
Yeah.
And I'm starting. I've never been the most. I'm a little more relaxed with this conversation. I don't know, but maybe because we talked a few times before, off the air, on the phone and stuff. But I'm not the most comfortable when it comes to video and talking about myself, and talking about others. But we did. I have started. It's called Brian's Journey. Conversations about cancer. But if you look on YouTube, it's Brian's Journey. And now the new segment started. It's called the Conversations About Cancer. And I've connected with folks all over the world. I was going to say the U.S., but no, all over the world.
Yeah, and I want to mention Tim Son, Perspective on Cancer.
Yeah,
has a great platform. Mark Caramoni, To Be Your Own Hero. That's another. Mark was actually a guest on our show. We were very fortunate to have Mark on so a while back. But there's a lot of great platforms out there for individuals to go and educate and learn yourself. And and I'm involved as well too. For my own rights, my own personal things that I'm dealing with, and so I'm really privileged and honored to actually have this conversation with you today, and I'm really excited to meet because we've all connected on Zoom, and we've never come together face to face, over this journey. And so I'm really excited about September 10th. Actually, all of us being in one room together.
Yeah, I'm actually, like I said, this journey I've been on, I'll tell you a couple of things, how grateful I am for technology. As I was saying, there's people I've connected my sisters and brothers on this journey I never wanted to be on that I've connected. Next week, there's one of my warrior driver sisters that I connected with lives in Boston, Massachusetts. I'm going to be in Boston for a couple of days next week, and I've connected to. We're gonna get together. We're gonna get together, have a chat. I don't think there'll be one. I don't know if she'll want this, but I know we'll probably get a selfie going at least. And I'm grateful for that because it's like these are people that she's someone who her and I have not much in common except for the fact that we have cancer and we're getting through it. She has breast cancer and she's young with. I don't want to get into personal, but we come from different walks of life and stuff like that. But it's like, but all of a sudden, that's what ties us together. And I will pop one more. So I did my second conversation about cancer the other night on the phone. And to us, it was nighttime because it was a Tuesday night, 8:00 p.m. our time, but it was Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. in Sydney, Australia, where I was having a Zoom conversation about cancer with a guy who, like me, was getting his treatments done.
Yeah.
So
I saw that. That was absolutely remarkable. And the cancer is everywhere. I remember having Liam Ryan and on the show. Ireland. Cancer 4, me 5.
I would love to talk with him, and I hope to talk with him sometime soon because
Liam and I talk frequently. So and just fortunately with the timing schedule today, we just weren't able to get it all united. But
I would love for the three of us. I would love for the three of us to get together and chat sometime. Maybe have a conversation about cancer because not only do I want to talk about cancer, I want to talk about Ireland because that'll be for the next conversation. I'll talk about my trip to Ireland that I had in 2009.
Well, we've already got our messages going, so we're already working on that plan right now. So who knows? Maybe you and I be going over to Ireland.
That would be great.
I know, but Liam's been trying to get me to Ireland for a while now. So
I'm ready to go back. I'm ready to go.
It would be a miss to not bring his name up and so forth like that. But no, I know that I've taken up your time today, and but I just really wanted to just have this opportunity to have this one-on-one with you. And man, I'm honored that God still has you here today to tell your story. One of the best takeaways is that I can tell people, and you can you'll double down on this, is that enjoy today.
Yeah, enjoy today. That's why I always say Brian wins. Brian and many others win today. Cancer loses, bro.
Yep.
That's what we got us today. We're not guaranteed tomorrow.
No, we're not. And and so many people look forward down to the road and what's going on next week and 2 weeks and 3 weeks. And you know what? We have to stay focused in that 24-hour window, because if anything outside that 24-hour window, it gets fuzzy.
I don't know much Latin, but I can say carpe diem, seize the day, you know, right there.
You know what? That is probably the best way to probably end this conversation, because I know the drips are going to be coming in, and as you always tell me, I started getting my chemo brain, and
right. Not to mention,
you know, and this is one of the great things. Not to mention
the Benadryl coma should be hitting me soon. The Benadryl should be hitting me soon. So I'm glad I brought my CPAP too, so no one else hears me snoring.
Nobody else hears you snoring. Yeah, but these platforms are absolutely great, because you know what, you know, something as serious as this, you see Brian and I laughing today, is because we're both enjoying life, and and we're living it for today, and it is very.
Look at the way I'm dressed, bro. You know,
I know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can rock the orange ones, but but being from upstate New York, those are colors: orange and blue. So
Syracuse, man, Syracuse orange.
That's right, the Orangeman, baby. So, but anyways, I just want to say thank you. I want to say God bless you. And
I wasn't wearing this stuff last year. I was very somber. I was very depressed. I wasn't like this last year, though. If I was pretending. And then afterwards, it would be different. But I appreciate you. Love you, brother.
I love you, too. And I will see you
in a couple of weeks.
Soon. Yeah,
I'm going to make sure you buy me lunch, too.
I have lunch. I have coffee. And I'm going to try to rock a purple hat. And in the meantime, I'm going to see if I can find some Chuck Taylors.
Actually, speaking of free lunch, this conference is free. Actually, I think, I know that one of the sponsors is the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society.
Yeah.
And there is a free lunch there, too. So when you post this, make sure you post that event for Tim.
Exactly. And,
when will it come out? Saturday morning, right?
Yeah, Saturday morning. So the conference is September 10th. And Homestead, Pennsylvania. I believe it starts at 8 a.m.
I think it's 10 to 4, I believe.
The 10 to 4? Yeah, I'm good. I'm glad it's 10. That means we can sleep in a little bit, because we'll probably be up tonight. We'll probably be up the night before running our mouths.
We actually rented an Airbnb for the weekend. You know what? You know where it's by Scranton.
Yeah.
I think we talked about The Office before. I'm looking forward to going to that office experience,
Maybe we'll drive by and see what's happening there, bro.
Well, they have that office experience, but I look forward to it, man.
But no, I just want to say thank you very much, brother, and God bless you, and seize the day, and enjoy your last IV treatment. I know it was very important to you to be on air today for this last treatment. It was your idea. And I was like, hey, if this is what you want to do, I'm down with it. And you know what? Because you know what, folks, the world, this is real life. This is real life right here.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any more real than this.
And again, I want to thank Dr. Anita Kumar, who I always say this. I'll end it with this. And I say to her, I may not be her best friend, but she is my BFF. So he's healing me at Memorial Sloan Kettering. Thanks.
All right. Amen, brother. And God bless you. And Saturday morning coffee. And I'll see you soon.
You can bring me one of them mugs, too. No.
I got your mug, too. Oh, my gosh. I know I need to get a U-Haul to bring all this stuff to you. But I'll make sure you're taken care of.
Or a Brinks truck. You know what I mean?
No. I need a Brinks truck, too.
Maybe
we'll get one. All right,
I'll
God
catch
bless
up
you,
with
brother.
you soon. Thank you, bro.
Enjoy your last treatment.
Be safe. Thank God.
You too.
Bye.